Hi, everyone. Welcome to this very early edition of Wild Breakaway with Tom Chorsky. I'm Audra Martin. It took a shootout to get this one done, so who needs sleep when you've got extra hockey, especially with a fun and exciting game like we saw tonight between the Wild and the Canucks. It's a 4-3 final score here tonight. The big story, Alex Galchenyuk with his first goal in a Minnesota Wild sweater to tie things up, eventually forcing overtime, and then the game winner in the shootout. And while he gets those two big goals, he also helps get the first win for Dean Evason.
Yeah, it was a good win for the Minnesota Wild. They gutted out a win. They got off to a good start, which was going to be important against a Vancouver team that it typically is very good, outscores their opponents in the first period. The Wild turned that around on them, and as I mentioned, gutted out a win tonight, hung in there. And Galchenyuk, the player who has most recently arrived, they're trying to give him a chance. He gets a fortuitous bounce, but then a big goal in the shootout in front of his dad, who's a former player. I'm sure that felt good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was a big 2 points tonight for the Wild. Here's a look at your final stats. This whole series between the Wild and Canucks has been pretty close tonight, no exception. A slight edge for the Vancouver Canucks when it comes to shots and hits and the face-off wins, but really the numbers you need to worry about is the final score, a 4-3 win here in the rubber match. And Dean Evason picks up his first career win as an NHL head coach. And it's even more special because his kids were there to see it happen live.
You hear things happen for a reason, and you know, all of those things. To have my three children here was awesome.
So now the road trip continues as the Wild, their dads, all their special guests will head on over to Edmonton to take on the Edmonton Oilers and Leon Draisaitl, who is having a fantastic season, part of why the Oilers sit in first place in the Pacific Division. So now when we see the Oilers in just a few days, we will not see Connor McDavid, but regardless, this team continues to play good hockey. They have tons of other weapons, but the good news is the Wild have taken them down twice already this season. Hopefully they make it 3 straight. Yeah,
they have the momentum going right now. That Leon Draisaitl, 95 points, is still a big threat, even though Connor McDavid is out. Another good thing, Edmonton's missing some defensemen as well, so maybe the Wild should take advantage of that as well. But as you mentioned, Dave Tippett doing a nice job with the Edmonton Oilers, keeping them competitive. But the Wild have the momentum, and they have the desperation. They just have to kind of gut out another road win here and make it a successful trip.
Yep. They still have work to do when it comes to those standings and their playoff picture right now, but they have time to get it done, and those 2 points on Friday would certainly help in the process. We'll see if they can get it done. We hope you join us then. For Tom Chorsky, I'm Audra Martin. Thanks for joining us on this late night early edition of Wild Breakaway.